Welcome to the show.
You can make money everywhere. One thing you can't make is knowledge or wisdom.
Man Up with Larry Bertok and the Outlaw Apostle. OMW, Old Man Wisdom.
Everyone can be successful if they want to. So this is the time you don't say stuff you don't want people to hear later.
All right, welcome back. We are here for episode number 2. The show is Man Up with Larry Bertok and the Outlaw Apostle. I'm Troy Neff. And that was cool, doing the first show. Just, man, we could have probably went longer than an hour.
We killed the battery at that time. It's just, well, we had a lot of content, and I think it was all pretty positive content that we had.
And we have a little bit of an outline here, a couple things that we put down that we want to talk about. But what I always did before is I always talked about what was in here.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so much going on in here sometimes, but just talking from the heart and what we're passionate about, what fuels us really every day.
I just want to see people grow. And what you said earlier in the previous episode is spot on. You can grow if you want to grow. You don't want to grow, you're not going to grow. You got to learn to fix yourself. I keep saying that, but you do. Fix yourself. Once you're happy with where you're at, where you're going internally, everything else, you can do it. But you have to fix yourself.
I agree with that, but I've also come to a place where I've learned to be grateful for where I am, but not satisfied.
Mm-hmm. Well, you gotta stay hungry.
Because to me, if I'm the same person a year from now that I am today, I fucked up.
You didn't grow.
I didn't.
That's
what it's about. It's about the progress.
Mm-hmm.
Progress, not perfection. It's just, and that's, I'm not perfect, and I'm not going to be perfect, and I get shit for being a Christian and saying the F word all the time, and cussing all the time. Well, you know what? God hasn't put it on my heart that I don't need to, and I haven't read anywhere in the damn Bible where it says that I'm not getting into heaven because I swear. Okay.
Exactly.
It doesn't. I know what you need to do, and I've done that, and I've accepted, Christ. I'm a Christian. I've accepted Christ as my Lord and Savior, and that's what I believe. But I'm also not Jesus. And I'll still smack another grown-ass man for being stupid if they're dumb enough to do it to my face like they do on social media. They never do that shit.
Keyboard warriors. We love them.
Yeah, we love that. But you know what I'm saying.
No, speaking of the Bible, it does say you shouldn't steal. But yeah, we have politicians. So I mean, it's really, really where it is. But yeah, you definitely need to grow, like you're saying. If you're in the same spot, that's being stagnant. You have to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Warren Buffett. Everyone knows who Warren Buffett is. Well, he was asked one time, when are you going to retire? When is enough money enough money? He said, I just want to make a little bit more. Now, some people took that as arrogance, but I understood what he meant. I'm not going to be complacent. I'm going to keep driving. Why? Because I'm not going to sit back, do nothing, and just...
And he certainly wasn't doing it to buy an Cadillac because he likes the old $1,500 pickup truck.
That's me. I
like
love
you.
it. Oh, I know.
That's,
You're right.
that's why you like him. That's him. That's the first thing I'm thinking when you're saying that. I'm like, that's you.
I was going to say, he and I share only one thing in common, and that's our choice of automobiles.
Pickup trucks. Absolutely. I can't imagine. I know in the other episode you mentioned, an aunt, somebody retired. I never, I had to start over. So that's not, me retiring is never going to happen. But I never imagined myself retiring anyways. Even my father-in-law, until his health, the last couple of years, he went from working 12 months to 6 months a year. Mm-hmm. And then he went to working basically 3 months a year. And his 3 months, he was still fucking making more than my 12. And I was doing well at that point, But that's the payoff of doing that shit for 50 years, putting it in. Just like
financial.
Yeah. So you just gotta put in that time. But I just can't, I'm always going to be involved in some kind of business or doing something, or I just can't imagine, but I'm still going to enjoy life. I enjoy life now. I love the fact that I get to do what I do and travel and just do things, and yeah, I'll kind of disappear here for a few hours, and my wife and we're doing this, or we're off on this excursion, and then we're at the pool at the Mirage, and I'm working. And that was, seriously, that's a true story. We're in Vegas to get married, and I'm at the pool at the Mirage talking to some clients and potential clients, messaging. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you. You're not, dude. This is what I do. I'm soaking up the sun. What are you? You're working. You work. I'm doing what I love to do, and I do it from 5 in the morning till 12:30 at night. It's just not a continuous 8-hour thing like that. We're doing this right now. So when we get done here, I am gonna have a shitload of messages to answer and clients to talk to.
I've been dealing with that one already. It's buzzing like crazy.
And that's fine. That's how it is.
It is.
And I don't even think of it like work. To me, it's just the hustle. It's just the grind, and I love it. So I just can't imagine not doing anything.
To put it in a different term, because our businesses are completely different. I'm in restaurants, I'm a chef. I have the same feeling when I'm preparing food. I love being a chef. Absolutely love working with food. Customers being happy is my number one goal. And I strive for it. There's nothing more satisfying than when you walk out on the floor and one of the guests says, "That was terrific." I did my job. At that point, I did my job. We're very lucky that we don't have very many complaints. But the joke that's always been with me is I'm like Gordon Ramsay in the kitchen. But I
can't imagine.
No. I almost would pull it in. I can definitely get Gordon Ramsay quick because I'm looking at something. Would you eat that? No. Then why the hell are you going to try to save
it out there?
You can't. Start over. A person will wait an additional 10, 15, 20 minutes for food that they get that is spot on, instead of getting it to them in 10 minutes earlier and then think that's not right. So you have to really focus where you love it. You love what you do.
I love what I do.
When I'm in the kitchen, I'm in my own world, man. I am happy. Now people around me think I'm going crazy because I'm motherfuckering this and goddamn it do this, but I know I'm an orchestrator. I'm orchestrating this kitchen to run the best that it possibly can. That being said, we're going to dive into staffing issues because that's
I was kind of curious, about that, about what, since you do own 2 restaurants and a bar, and during this pandemic, what, it's one thing for people to hear somebody else's opinion about it. You have 3 businesses. How have you dealt with all this? What have you required your employees to do? What do you require them to do now? What has been forced on you by the government even? Does that make sense?
Yes, first and foremost, I am very aware of COVID. Everyone's aware of COVID. It's real.
And we believe it's real.
No, it is definitely real.
Okay.
How your body reacts to it is differently than your body's going to react to anything, bacteria or any kind of virus that's out there in the world today. We're very diligent about keeping clean. We're very diligent, which we've always have been. This wasn't just because of COVID. Again, I get a little Gordon Ramsay. If I see you grab a bottle of water, and you take a drink of water, and you go to grab something in my kitchen and say, wash your hands. You have to wash it. You don't know if there's anything on that bottle. You're going to touch that person's food. Gloves, I probably go through, I know, almost 3 cases of gloves a week. I'm big on people changing out their gloves. I don't want you handling my food. So why would you handle their food? My family eats there, my friends eat there, I want to make sure it is. So when it comes to cleanliness, we do our best. Government forcing us, I don't like some of the forces that they make on us. The health department makes it to where we have to use some approved suppliers for products. Now, I'm against the approved suppliers because in order to how do you think you get on a list? You pay, you get on a list. That's how that happens. So you have to use your Cisco's, your US Foods, your Gordon Foods. You have to use these to get some of your products.
Was there somebody that you were getting something from that's not on that list that you can't do business with anymore?
The meats that we use at our restaurant are Black Angus, certified Black Angus, and they're from a farm in Independence, Ohio. In order for me to use that farm, Instead of being able to work directly with that farmer, now I have to incorporate a company, which is Northern Hazrat, that had to contract with that farmer, so that product goes to Northern Hazrat, and Northern Hazrat sends it to us. So I can still get the product, but what people are not understanding
There's no way, I don't mean to interrupt you, but there's no way that doesn't happen without an increase of cost because you added another layer.
major increase of cost.
Imagine that I just thought of that. Yeah, of course.
Economics really works. So that is what happens. It increases the cost. But to do it their way, we have to incorporate another person. So we do. And we still get that. I do pay more for the product than I could from another place, but it wouldn't be from this farm that I know that the food comes from. And it's kind of nice to be able to know that I can go tour this gentleman's farm at any time. He'll welcome people on. Why don't you just call GFS and say, hey, where do you get your beef from? Can I go see the farm? You don't know. Again, I always go back to my family eats here. I want to know what they're getting. Same thing with our produce, the same way.
Right.
Now, I believe we should be able to go to the local farmer for onions and tomatoes. And you can't even do that anymore. So it's, yes, the government does restrict us on things, which drives our cost down. And I'll give you a little bit more insights that you said about cost. Right now, a farmer, compared to 2 years ago, is losing $150 per head of cattle. So every time they take a cattle in to be slaughtered, they're losing $150 now what they were getting back in 2019. The producer that's cutting and processing it is making $1,800 per head. Where's the I mean, how does that work? And you know who the